Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the path of Erangel. You may have been able to sneak a peek at some of the screens there. You can see the flight path, and you can see it's not the greatest, honestly, for the northern-based teams. Happy for the southern ones, though, and we'll see whether Na'Vi decides to adjust off this and go back to Sosnovka.
Yeah, we heard in the interview Red Diamonds, they were mentioning that the playing path kind of suited them, going more towards that Novo spot, and the fact that they knew Novo was complete. To be honest, we would expect an IP. We've seen this one before, the Lipo drop. It was like their backup or their adjustment job, should we say, compared to Georgia Paul when the plane's pretty rough. Again, we did speak about and kind of touched on it last week. If you get a rough plane on Erangel, it's not easy to adjust, but certainly much better than it is in Miramar. You are kind of relying on the planes to be able to get in a good position. So these adjustment spots, they're not too bad. Red Diamonds will be going back home to where they came from on the previous map, and obviously the previous win as well. And it looks like Na'Vi, they'll be doing the same.
Yeah, they're going to head up north, so that means they're going to be battling for the vehicles, I believe, but not with Raise Your Edge, because they've gone down to Primorsk. So they're going to be dropping down that way, and actually they're going to find George Paul's all their own if they go up that way. I guess that's going to be where they're heading. Stick to what you know. Now, I wonder, Richard, I wonder, because we've just had that big south plane path, is this going to be our first Sosnovka? Oh, my word.
Ooh, this is different to what we've had all week.
A Primorsk finish? You know what? It's been absolutely ages since I've seen a Primorsk finish.
You know where that's going?
Because it pulls away from the water. I've just never seen it. You go to Quarry?
That's going Quarry.
Yeah, I mean, it's plumb center right now. But as we should talk about the circle, this is something we've obviously mentioned a bunch of times. You guys know by now. But as you can see, there is, what, 40% of the land is actually playable. And that's going to cause a problem for the early rotations. Expect to see some very, very quick moves from the likes of Team Liquid, from the likes of Vitality, etc.
So it's hard to obviously preempt where this one will go. With Winstrike, they'll be able to take a vast area or a vast amount of land, to be honest with you. I mean, just so in the back line, Jempty's already got a vehicle and might be moving out. We'll have a look for a bit more gear, but he may move out of Pachinki rather early. But yeah, Winstrike can really take the pick, to be honest with you, the pick of the bunch where they want to hold up and where they want to set. There are a couple of strong individual compounds. There's one in particular that's it's kind of like a 4-stack building with a garage attached to it, and it also has a level 2 building, so you can look out the eye lines and look out every single windows, which falls back on something called what we generally call longwoods as you come off of the bridge, so you'll be able to set up there. So there's a couple of really strong individual compounds that you will tend to see teams maybe fly for rather early, obviously. ENCE, they're going to have the most, I say, difficult run. They do have to run a bit of a gauntlet, but they'll certainly be the latest. There is weird and wonderful options here for maybe taking boats and hitting that west coast. You might even see Red Diamonds do it, to be honest, rather than even take a challenge at the bridge, because Jokers will more than likely be set up there. Ferry Pier is literally smack bang on an entry point of that circle. For Raise Your Edge, I'd like to see them move out of Primorsk early. Maybe move to more of the edges of it. There's a ridgeline lead that kind of runs
it's always
outside of it, around it. I think if they get out of it rather than being stuck back into it, they can do two things. They can stop people entering Prim. So if it does go Prim, they've got full advantage of it. Yeah. But more importantly, if it doesn't go Prim, they can move forward and really kind of exert the dominance forward and charge forward. Push out of it. Rather than being boxed in.
It's the tricky thing of when you are in the circle to not be stuck in the mindset of like, I'm just going to sit and loot.
Because then you will get stuck in
you'll just get pinned.
The city.
Like, it's the same with Winstrike. Obviously, we've seen it so many times where, I mean, these guys, they've not been caught out so much. But when you're in this like spread loot, you've got to keep your eye on that clock. You've got to keep your eye on that time, because you know we're hitting 4 minutes. And look at this, Team Liquid on the move. This is what we expected, because it's such a limited landmass. The top positions, and actually, like, honestly, you're saying Quarry. I think it's going to be a bit more north of Quarry. I'm pretty sure it's going to pull back a bit. And up towards pretty much west where Jorski is, that sort of thing. Or Yorski, I should say. Those sort of compounds around there. Actually, the one to the south of them is not great. It's that massive place, right? It's impossible to defend.
Hey, they've got to be careful that they don't get tagged up by any of the
Remember
Jokers.
They touched on Jokers in the in week 1, didn't they? They came down this south route and got caught out, trading 1-for-1 at that time.
Miramar teams. That's what we're going to call them from now on, Miramar teams. Well, everyone call them Liquid and Miramar. Anyway, but Jokers have had some really good games. Again, they're in that middle of the pack kind of area and starting to show signs of life from individual players.
So is everyone now. It's getting
They
pretty
have to
tight.
do it,
I mean, that's, I think 100 points plus is now down to like 11th, 12th it was. I think Red Diamonds just went over and actually surpassed Na'Vi, which is a big surprise for them. Now, speaking of CIS teams, you can see M19 making their path through, splitting. Na'Vi actually did stick with a 2-2, so 2 went to North Georgia. You can see Boca Molodoy is down south.
Are TSM going to get caught in a trap here? Because Udir will be able to call for the information now and advise that TSM are on the rotation, which might actually...
got out.
He might, by being that lead person there and calling for the info, it might give G2, if they set up on the rock side here and have someone in that little shack, which they don't, but G2 could set up a trap here. It is possible. You can even see they're on the road perpendicular to them.
Yeah, it's as you mentioned. The tri-bikes, seeing if they can pull up another drive bike.
Is Chris going to dive it? No.
Is Chris going to pull up at the car? No, that's. I think there's Kane taking shots from long range, but not going to hit anything from that range. Jokers did pull up close, you can see, by the way, to Team Liquid. It's a tricky rotate for everyone, really.
Goes there,
you can see like the swarm coming in behind them. Not going to catch anything. It's so hard to hit those moving bikes when they're going full speed, unless they're coming straight at you. They do catch Wookie in the Dacia, the slow Dacia, bless him, and that's going to be Wookie down.
Yeah, the big man at the back, unfortunately, will go down and out at one point, going to the way of G2. So,
wonder if he had a choice over a bike or a Dacia. Wonder if they just took the bikes and he was just like,
to be honest with you, I mean, with how much information they actually had going forward, we kind of expected one of TSM. We were calling for it anyway. I mean, G2 was so set up along those ridge lines. They've had so much communication that they'll be able to have been passed it back. Vitality might be the next team to fall victim to this one. If they do swing down south, Monkey is currently looking that way on the map side. Nope, they'll continue onwards, but it looks like TSM have gone from one team to another league. Straight
to Team Liquid and the Jokers. They're sort of on top of one another. I wondered that when they were coming in on the bikes. They were very close. Looking in the north, you can see there is a big bunch of teams all clustering on the way down. That's going to be a little congested up there. Gustav's going to head back down to his team in the compound. Red Diamonds, I feel, have been way too late on the movement, Sia. They are far too slow. If they're thinking of going over the bridge now, that could really run straight headlong into G2. Gustav will join his team. Yeah, and Rory's going to just give him that cover fire that he needs to keep Team Liquid at bay. Let's have a look. Racer Rich, you know, they've not really moved out much, have they?
They haven't. You were kind of doing the same old, to be honest with you. I mean, this is kind of what I wanted them to do, though, just play the far side of and the north side of Primorsk and hold them back. And again, it gives them an option to move forward. But holding that ridgeline stops anyone making an entry into Prim, so if it does swing to Prim, they can at least fall back, set up in the front buildings, and
look at these points.
Set up a bit of a trench.
How close that is. I mean, 70 points between Red Diamonds and ENCE. You can get 50 points in a day. We've seen it. 50 points in a day. They've started strong with their big win. It's such a close, compact run. I got to be honest, if you're Na'Vi, I'd be a little worried right now. Raise your edge just 5 points off them, and they've been having some terrible times, but they started to pick it up towards the end of last week. Let's see how it works out. CrowCrowd coming in from the north. NIP, M19, they're all making the way down from the northern edges. Of course, NIP starting out in Lipovka this time, so had a different rotate for them. FaZe Clan also sitting out far and making the ways into this first circle. The question is, though, Rich, where's it going to go? If it could still shift into the water edge, because there's nothing telling it not to at the moment. No. It's only phase 4 it will pull away from water. We've got a long way to go before then.
Talking about that scoreboard and how close it is, I mean, it's okay because you can go in with the mentality and think, all right, well, we've got halfway to go already, so the scoreboard could flip. All right, yeah, you could do really well and you could go on an absolute storm, but at that point you're playing the numbers and you have to hope that everyone plays opposite to what you're playing, does really bad at the top of the table. That is absolutely diabolically brutal.
God,
this is so many people are going to die on this next rotation. Entering that circle is going to be rough.
Because you've got the whole quarry,
this is spicy.
So there's that big quarry wall in there, so that's out of it.
Now, interestingly, Raise Your Edge haven't got boxed into Prim. They've gone early, but they're actually going to smash into Team Liquid, which could be really dangerous for them. G2 will get in, and this is the hill that I was talking about before, being able to defend them, because you'll catch people rotating here. A doozy.
He's got an angle.
Yeah.
That's a belter an angle. Oh, he's going to have to duck in the water.
That's fantastic. But that might solidify his position here.
Where's the help from the rest of his team? They're just sailing on by. Why are they not pulling up and going for this?
They are pulling up in front of them. They're getting ahead of them late, and they might push this ridgeline and maybe maybe tank them from behind.
Just a nade down onto that smoke will finish them. Oh, Fuzzface, you can see the distance. Car exploded. That's going to be Monkey and Jazza picking that kill up. Here we go. Red Diamonds, they've just got themselves the chicken dinner. Now they're going to try and pick up a couple more kills here, storming the way up the table. Pin, the highest kill leader in the previous matchup. Fast Rail coming out of Promorse. They're still looking for a home. That shouldn't be the case for Red Diamonds. For Raise Your Edge. A doozy. Yeah, he's going to finish Chris off. And I tell you what, it's not been a good start for G2.
It hasn't, but it's been a fantastic start for Red Diamonds. A really dirty player there to sit at the water's edge and hit them from behind. Mexi, the next member of FaZe, to unfortunately fall on the rotations. They're trying to find a foothold in this map, but again, it's going to be so limited. Red Diamonds annihilates G2. All 4 members lined up and knocked down. That all comes off the back of sitting on that water's edge and playing spoiler. But
now the Knights are getting involved. They're going to third party onto Red Diamonds on the hill as Red Diamonds trying to go aggressive and push down. As you mentioned, FaZe Clan, they lost 2 in the rotate. It's very congested in the top north area as well. NIP and ENCE both coming into the back sides of Na'Vi, as you saw Vitality there stealing away a kill. You can see the Knights, and that's kind of left a doozy kind of on his own, but there is a decent ridge line on that beachhead. Now the circle, it has obviously pulled far south. Still totally possible to continue its journey to the southwest, and finally will pull away in the 4th circle. Iro down, had a cracking game in the last matchup. He's going to get smoked off, but I think they're just going to abandon him to TSM.
I mean, a doozy, it takes a whole new level of playing in the blue when you're literally sitting in the water. To do that to G2 is absolutely disgusting. He had the smokes to be able to back up in the water and cover himself as well, and then the rest of his teammates re-rotating. And again, you need that quick call, right? Rather than just sitting around. You mentioned it. Are they going to pull up here? Where's his teammates going? They do. They pulled up. They took a wide swing, and they've got all 4 members alive and already 4 points in the bag. It's a fantastic start for them, but again, they're trapped down on the beachhead should this circle move up north.
Just saw FaZe Clan there. They got 4 members of Vitality around them. Meanwhile, Winstrike. Oh, Recrin. What is Na'Vi doing? They've got 2 north, 1 off to the east and 1 off to the west. And Recrin's been found, and they're split all over and just getting surrounded. M19 and NIP all sort of coming around them, trying to find themselves a spot. ENCE actually getting lit up, trying to come down from the north. FaZe Clan, in the end, did go in this compound, but you can see on the minimap, Vitality are kind of heading towards them. They're just sitting on this ridge line. I don't think they'll push the compound. It's a little too risky at this time.
ENCE is going to try and breach this one, but it looks like Maraku actually might punch a spoiler in that.
Oh, my God. What is this circle?
It's brutal, but it's PUBG, and you've got to be able to learn to deal with this one. Vitality want to make something happen and make an advancement onto FaZe.
They've got Jazza and flustered him.
Instead, because it's a little bit spread, but you'd rather lose one than the entirety of the team, so it's...
They were coming in solos because they had no idea that anyone was in this compound.
Which is fine. You don't want to just run in and YOLO it, because then you get battered, all of you, individually.
So Dominic finds himself one as everybody now tries to make the move. Now, obviously with this current circle, you can go to the edge because you know it's going to pull away from the water. So if you're kind of center edge on the right-hand side of this beachhead area, you know you're pretty much safe in the circle right now. M19 are actually in a blinding position with that 2-2. I know why they've got a 2-2. Get to the Wanderer, join him up. Team Liquid, they are golden for the next circle. Monkey has been taken down now by Uber as well. FaZe Clan are starting to pick up Vitality here. This should not be happening.
Shadow.
It's a 2v1.
Shadow's
Itzy finally goes down. Na'Vi, Sadovnik, the last man standing, getting blasted in the back. He's going to get inside, and they're safe. Meanwhile, Digital Athletics, who just had a cracking game in second place, go down in 15th to Team Liquid.
Liquid do the dirty and take them out in game number 2. As you mentioned, Vitality, everything seems to be falling apart. I believe there's only 1 member alive. I saw Shadow go down as well, so unless he's been flushed or rezzed...
Yeah, Shadow's been rezzed, but there's been Nasus in there, and there you can see they're trying to push on him. So it's a 2-on-2. This was a 4-on-2. FaZe Clan in this compound completely caught them off guard, and they have totally surprised them. They're way outside the circle, though, so it is really a battle for spot here. Shadow down once again, so Nasus now the last man standing in this breach. Itzy tries to go for a peek. Nasus goes for a little edge around the side. Is he looking at him? Why is he looking out the other side, trying to cover
He's trying to cover that window, which is fair play because Nasus, if you are smart, try and stab him in the back with the window. That nade, imagine if it goes inside.
It's gone in.
Is it in?
It's gone in, I'm sure of it. Yes, it is. There it is. We cut away from it. Don't know why, but Cup of Magic just takes down all of Na'Vi there and leaves them with just Pokemonadoi. I think they've got Pokemonadoi going to get the revive off in the side. Best luck goes around. The world just had a great game, but this time Krabber from the Knights will take him down.
The nades keep on flying. As Raise Your Edge could do with some...
Vitality down by FaZe in a 4v2.
That feels bad, man.
Oh my word. But that's left FaZe out in the blue, by the way. They are in phase 3 in that circle. This is all happening in the blue as well. The Knights and Red Diamonds in Primorsa. It's just, these are all battles that really are not helping anyone. Raise Your Edge have Na'Vi pinned, and they really want to try and finish him off here. Batulin's going to get Pokemon Adoy back on his feet. Looks like Raise Your Edge have ran out of grenades now, so no more to toss in there.
They also don't want to overextend here too much, because you can see the bullets and the tracer fire coming in the back line. So if they overextend and try and go for these 2 points, yes, it would be an easy 2 points, but look, they're already getting shot at from decent angles. Actually, Na'Vi might be able to take one there on the retreat. Some
mutually assured destruction in Primorse. There's no way any of those are coming out of that alive. Looks like they're going to, it's just Hello Sampai left in there. Everybody coming in, as expected. It will pull away from the water, of course, on phase 4. It is in the circle setting, so it gives you that educated guess for as a team leader to know where to go next. The Jokers sneaking in behind Team Liquid. They have to be aware of 4 members coming out the blue. FaZe Clan still trying to make a run for it as well in that blue.
M19 across map, and again picks up one of RYE. And that's as they try and still take a poke and a peek over towards Na'Vi, just hidden in that hut. Senpai should not really last much longer. Obviously, he's playing off the back foot here just with the meds. And that could be a long-range nade as well. I'm seeing cooked. Up and over we go. False back. And he's actually picked up some meds as well. There's also a body box. So he might be able to just keep... It's just a matter of playing for time down there. He's unfortunately wasting time for Knights, more importantly. I mean, Knights could just bail from this.
They should.
Is it worth
they tried. They tried to, but the problem is they kept getting shot in the back, so they've had to deal with him. But I'm pretty sure that's Knights are really just going to have to dump all the meds on one guy and hope he makes it.
And there's a couple of body boxes there, so it might have been a play for them.
Uber and ENCE trying to make a dash out the blue as well. They're still in there. This is phase 4. If you guys play them, you've all played in it. Nobody wants to be playing in phase 4 blue. It starts to really punish you. Team Liquid are starting to engage on the Jokers. That's down on the southeast corner. And it looks like Uber and ENCE. Has he got many meds left? Oh, ENCE is still bleeding out, healing himself up. There goes Kramer, as expected. Those guys all out in the blue are really hurting right now, but where can they go in the circle? There's no entrance point. The Jokers holding the southeast corner, which FaZe are kind of running into right now as TSM hold the ground.
They have potential to try and hit. There's the tiny bit of a hill, and that's, well, yeah, you're going to get pincered and pushed. FaZe, unfortunately, on a nice edge here. Zuba's out in the blue.
2. Tixu and Jorski both taken down by Gustav. We were talking about the pivoting skills of Uber. Gustav certainly capable of that. And now the CrowCrowd are actually moving in behind the other side of this hill on towards Winstrike. And now there's a knock. That comes from the Jokers way down south. So that one just come out of nowhere. And now Set wants to get involved with Dream for You.
A little bit unfortunate there for Gustav. He didn't see that one coming again. You wouldn't at that distance or really expect it. That's a 2-tap and down. Whether Winstrike makes some sort of an advancement on that. It is a 3-man TSM stack. Nades are going up and over. Nuki's getting hyper-aggressive, but again, bullets are actually in the back lines here. Michael with a nade onto 1. CC push in and knock 2. All of a sudden, TSM might have just been saved.
Yeah, Dimmy, the last man standing for Winstrike as well, as they get forced and crushed by the 2 teams. Conflicting with one another. Those nades are not going to be able to steal it away. You also saw FaZe Clan, by the way. They went
Timmy,
down
where he is.
In 11th place. Timmy just trying to hope that they can give him some cover fire.
TSM have just kind of got to hold the line here. If they make an advancement over that hill, especially with Set holding the off angle with a K9. We've seen Set do some damage with the snipers all last week. Gustav does see Timmy laying in the grass, confirms him. Job done. 10th place for Winstrike, 1 point to TSM. But again, you've got to be careful of Set here. K98 finds a face, he'll happily take it. They don't have Wookie Bookie as their main marksman as well, and you can see from the opposing side, TSM, they're between a rock and a hard place. You either take on CC or you take on Team Liquid.
Where are we going with the circle?
Pick your poison.
It goes up to the beachhead, and M19 with their 2-2 split still seems to be working well. NIP as well, still with the 4 alive, staying very quiet on the compounds. But now everybody that took this ridgeline on the road has to make a push.
So for Liquid, they have to be careful of Jokers stabbing him in the back. Liquid could go ahead here and take that eastern side of the circle and maybe make a play on TSM and CC and just really hold them back. The Blue's going to do so much damage.
Here we go, they're engaging.
Good shot from Jempty, gets the opening pick. Are they going to push on it though? Are they going to wipe this team out and then advance forward?
They have to. They have to clear out their backs. So Dimash is secured. So now the Joker's down to 3. Meanwhile, up in the northern side, TSM continuing their standing engagement with CrowCrowd, but both of these teams need to move out of it. CrowCrowd are being actually engaged behind. NIP taking a couple of shots on them, which is why you just saw all their attention turn around and push away from TSM. I think they're both going to disengage from this fight. TSM are heading away from this one, down towards Team Liquid. Joker's at
I've I just realized they still have a vehicle to TSM, so TSM might just opt to just blame this one and fire, try and get a reposition, to be honest with you. On another point of the map, which they have done, they're taking the vehicles, they're inside the HUD, but now the bottlenecked, again, still between two teams. Now Liquid has a full visual and full information exactly where they are. Gustav onto set, finally. The main maximum. Gustav's actually overextended here on his own. He's run off behind them all.
Well, they tried to push over the road because everyone's trying to move. CrowCrowd had kind of backed away to face NIP.
Look at it.
But completely
no fear.
Forgot about TSM, and now Gustav. He can come over the top. Outplays, that's an easy one for him.
That's 2.
We'll get that. Spins around.
That's
gets
3.
Magister down. And can he finish
Get
him
the
off?
4.
Sees
4v1.
And well, it's Michael that stole one away. But Gustav, what a flanking play there.
We saw him creeping. The rest of TSM were running for it, and they did not keep track of him. Gustav is this man that keeps being the anchor point for TSM, constantly holding angles, constantly just watching different POVs and being able to just run off on a one-man band streak like that to completely smash them. That is a poor play from CC. They should not have let him do that.
Team Liquid are about to come over the brow of the hill on towards the Jokers. Jokers trying to push on there. Now, TSM might get third party and draw into this one because they're not too far away from the action. You can see them off in the distance there. Team spotted. Kemba comes over the hill. Senja backs it up with a grenade. That's a really nice play from the Jokers. Doesn't quite pay off and dividend, but look at TSM. Michael and Rory, I can see them coming down towards this fight. They want a piece of the action, and Team Liquid may well be the sandwich to their bread.
TSM are also in a 2 versus 1 split for the simple fact that Gustav is holding up in the north. The rest of them will hold the angles, but Team Liquid have to make a push. They're in the open roadside. Senna, unfortunately, is already down. That wooden shack won't last long as a couple more bullets, but Kemba spots Ibby on the advancement. The Jokers, they're down and out.
Raise your edge catching them.
Liquid actually might be able to get the res and keep a 3-man band
here. And here comes TSM. TSM right up behind them. Just the nade. Rory cooking it. Oh, it's a short one. Oh, it's gone too far. It's gone way too far, but it doesn't matter. Gustav comes in. He's found the Wanderer. They're fighting up north as well. TSM getting involved with everything. Now, NIP, they're coming out of their compound and catching M19. They tried to condense. They had a 2-2 split. They tried to join on the shack as the circle centers up once again. TSM now looking to try and mimic the pain that Team Liquid have. Cup of Magic, he's found another nade.
How is Pokemon?
How is he still
That's
standing?
the second time he's been in there and a nade's just completely covered him. Oh, he's just playing for placement, bless him, but he might just want to go for a little bit of a grenade of his own here. If he hits that tree, he could push on this. I want to see him throw it and run.
No, it's gone way too far. Way
Rory
too far.
Jepsy
down. TSM, they are picking a lot of kills up. They just talked about it on the desk. You know, TSM, their placements overall are not great, but when they win big. They still only have the 3 alive. Remember, they lost Wookie. He was one of the first to go down, as Pokemon will fall to raise your edge. Now Samty makes the push. He catches Michael, catches Rory, and Team Liquid now catching him in the back. But where's Gustav?
He's going to run away. He's already been spotted, though. He's on the opposing side. Liquid, they gather their resource and get themselves together here. It was a little bit unfortunate because he couldn't actually get that final kill while they get their res down. Gaxley, you see the vehicle in the background, and that's because NIP and M19 are going head-on-head.
Gustav gets found. It's Raise Your Edge in the end. They'll take them down in 5th place, but NIP and M19 clashing on this shack up in the side.
And NIP have been waiting for this moment to be able to get some sort of leverage. Okay, they don't really have a high ground, I suppose, but more importantly, there's nobody behind them. It's so open. You can see the snakes at this angle. Gaxi will take the lead. MBS does have his point. Unfortunately, Gaxi gets caught short as he just goes around the corner. That grenade will confirm as well. Yep. It's literally under his legs.
Absolutely. You never want to get caught short, that's for sure. Constantine will manage to toss that one in. Second nade follows through. Now Raise Your Edge. It's Ibby. He's the solo man for Team Liquid, just trying to send it and get himself in there. It looks like he should be safe for now. There's a crate coming down. Fast rail going off to the side. The one shack that's available for him. And this game, honestly, is actually looking pretty good for Raise Your Edge.
Big nade,
we
big
could
nade.
see, oh, there's the shot coming through. We could see another set off here. Raise Your Edge versus NIP like we did at the end of last week.
That's a norm. That's going to be in place. So Raise Your Edge are actually picking off at distance here. Look at that. Just like that, Maraku, he gets completely wiped from the backlines where they're trying to take on M19. Looking for some sort of respite here. VOD and MBS left in a A 2 versus 3 when we look towards Ragey Red now. They've played quite passive on this. They've kept 3 members alive going into this circle.
That's so
They
fast.
can pretty much let Nip and M19 kill each other. And if he's got that arm, just pick up the pieces.
He literally just charged over there in a vehicle, picked up the arm, and then instantly found himself a headshot for it. And it's cost them problems because NIP were looking so strong, but M19 have now come around and finished them off. So it's 3rd place for NIP. Decent finish, but now Razor Edge in a 3v2.
They have to play, they have to play this proactive. I want to see them make a movement here. Don't sit back and hope they can just finish people off with that AWM. Otherwise, M19 might actually punish them. It's an open ground, so you wouldn't expect them to. Yeah. They've advanced up. There's 2 of them taking point. I like that, all right?
There's a shot. You can see Fast Rails taking shots on the M19 from Enoch there.
If Fast Rail doesn't land the shot, they've now got Wanton in a position who'll be able to pick it up. I think Cup of Magic should also maybe move up on that eastern side to be able to cover that off angle.
M19 have to move in. The circle has not been good for them. Razor Edge, there is still another crate in play, by the way, just off to the edge of Wanted, but there's no way he's going to make a run for it. It's a nice setup. They've got Wanted with the AR up close, Cup of Magic with the SLR far away, and of course Fast Rail made that move and got the one and only Shaq in the game. But as you can see, they do still have that tiniest of ridge lines that they can still hide from.
He's all tanked up, so as soon as they come over that ridge, he'll be able to plant the .300 ammo into his body or into his skull and knock him. Remember that thing will insta you with a headshot.
How many nades they've thrown at Navi? I wonder if they've got any left. Because this is a prime spot. They have to come up this hill. So prime time for Wanted to toss a nade up. But I don't think they got any.
They might not even have the information exactly. I mean, obviously now they've spotted him, but it's such a wide open area. You can quite easily, if they're not fully cooked, avoid those grenades. You'll see them coming up and over.
Just a hop there. Constantine.
They shouldn't choke this. This should be an RYE win. This has to be an RYE win. We've seen weirder and more wonderful things happen in PUBG where teams have not stuck together and been picked off individually. This is why M19 are sticking together to try and get an initial peek or a poke on one of them to make this an even man's game. But right now, they have all 3 angles covered. They're just kind of waiting them to approach the brow of the hill and have some information on where they're located. Wanted's the most important man now because it stops them running down that
He's the
eastern
surprise
side.
factor. So try and catch them off guard as they make the move.
It's hard to get the information as well because while you're trying to bob your head over and get that info, you're also trying to avoid an SLR on one side and an ARM on another.
They're just going to commit to the blue, Constantine?
I think he went to go get gear.
He did, and he got knocked, and now they're going to move on it. They're going to move on it. Yep. Look, Razor Edge. Wanted's going to try and get up the hill. You can see there's the crate there. Enoch's going to get himself the revive off here. Fast Rail's in the vehicle. He's going on the bike. He's going looking for this one. Now they're both going to be back up. They've got to make sure they play this correct, though, Razor Edge. They don't try and pull the trigger too early. Just a single nade will be enough. Cup of Magic has a nade. That's just going to be one off to the side. That was the only one he had here. And now Wanted on the flank. The molly's coming towards him. That is going to be absolutely on point. Pushing him around the side. Enoch goes down. Constantine, the last man standing. And M19 look to try and get something from this one. Wanted sneaks in. Yeah, he flushed it. And Constantine was not expecting that.
More smokes are down. They have the exact information of where he is. You might as well go for this and try and get a knock and a flush. Nope, is denying it. Okay.
It's a win for Razor Edge, and that's really what they wanted. You know, they've just seen teams down around them performing well. Digital Athletics picking the points up, Red Diamonds picking the points up. You know who that's not good for? Navi. Navi were just 2-3